দর্শক সকলকে স্বাগত জানাচ্ছি আমাদের একাত্তরের মুখোমুখিতে। আজকে আমাদের সঙ্গে বিশেষ একজন অতিথি যুক্ত হয়েছেন, যিনি বাংলাদেশের বিষয়ে যুক্তরাষ্ট্রের ওয়াশিংটন ডিসি থেকে সবসময় সরব ছিলেন এবং তিনি কথা বলেছেন বাংলাদেশের মানুষের অধিকার নিয়ে, বাংলাদেশের মানুষের স্বাধীনতা নিয়ে এবং বাংলাদেশের মানুষের রাজনৈতিক অধিকার নিয়ে তিনি সরব ছিলেন। তিনি আমাদের সঙ্গে আছেন। তিনি সবাইকে পরিচয় করে দিচ্ছি, মাইকেল কুগেলম্যান। তিনি যুক্তরাষ্ট্রের উইলসন সেন্টারে তিনি কর্মরত আছেন এবং বর্তমানে তিনি বাংলাদেশে আছেন। আমরা তাকে আজকে আমাদের আজকে স্টুডিওতে পেয়ে খুবই আনন্দিত। ওয়েলকাম কুগেলম্যান টু আওয়ার শো।
Thank you. Great to be here.
And let's start our program. We are so happy to have you in our today's program. Our special thanks to you for your efforts to restore democracy in Bangladesh. You wrote about Bangladesh, raised question to fallen regime with your articles. And let me start our today's program with asking that after attacking Ukraine by Russia, Palestine by Israel, and last time war between Iran and Israel, whole world is facing many kind of uncertainty. How do you see the ongoing conflicts? Will this conflict end soon, or another few conflicts are coming?
Well, I mean, I can't predict the future. I hope there are no new conflicts coming. But yeah, we're living in a time where we're experiencing a significant number of conflicts, more than we have for quite some time. And it's sad because it's not just the conflicts, but the humanitarian crises that come with them, right? There's so many: Gaza, Ukraine, elsewhere in the Middle East, in Africa, Afghanistan. There's so much. And of course, here we have the Rohingya crisis as well. So it's just a very difficult time. I will say that my president, President Trump, came to office wanting to prioritize ending wars in Gaza and Ukraine. He hasn't been successful yet, but I think that we can all agree that there's just too many wars raging today, and it's important to ensure that we don't have any new wars.
Okay, I want to draw your attention on South Asia, India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, and also Myanmar. Every country are facing many kind of obstacles, many kind of political turmoils. And in India, Narendra Modi now leading the country, but he have lots of obstacles. And main opposition party leader are claiming for false election. And on the other hand, Pakistan also ruled by a military backed government, and also Myanmar situation also, all kind of situation. And you are now in Bangladesh, and you are observing the situation. So, on this perspective, how do you see the future of this region focusing on security?
Yeah, I mean, what really stands out for me now about the region is that you have so many borders that are fraught, that are violent, that are disputed, that are conflict-riven, more so than usual. I mean, we always know the India-Pakistan border is always hot, but we're seeing not only that, but Afghanistan, Pakistan, the border is very hot. India-China remains a very fraught border. And of course, the conflict in Myanmar has meant that the Bangladesh-Myanmar border and also the Myanmar-India border are very fraught and very hot as well. So this is the biggest concern for me. I mean, yes, internal conflict is a concern in some places, civil conflict, but also the fact that so many borders are so fraught with violence, cross-border terrorism, or simply disputed. This is not going to be something that's easy to address. It's going to be a very difficult challenge moving forward.
Okay, so I interviewed a few experts in regional security, and they said that Bangladesh needs an election, and after that election, elected government will be more acceptable to doing meaningful dialogue with its neighbor. India and Myanmar. We have Rohingya issue, and we have also a few issues with India.
Right.
So, do you agree with this?
I mean, I do. I think it's always better to have an elected government in place to conduct foreign policy, because it'll have a mandate from the people to carry out policies, including some that might be controversial or politically difficult. So clearly, India has made very clear that it's not going to be willing to look at its relationship with Bangladesh until there's a new government in place here. My sense is that after the election, no matter who wins the election here, you will see New Delhi keen to try to patch up ties. So that's significant right there. But I think that you have uncertainty, before the election here. It's just a very difficult, turbulent moment for Bangladesh, and I think that's a distraction as well. So that makes it a bit more difficult to conduct foreign policy. So presumably, once there's an election, hopefully it'll be free and fair, with a government that's accepted by the people with a fresh mandate, and that can give that new government the opportunity to pursue ties with neighbors and make some difficult decisions. How far do you go with this reset with Pakistan? Do you try to patch things up with India? What do you do about China? I think that Bangladesh benefits from having a balanced foreign policy where it balances ties with India, China, Pakistan, the US, Russia, and not align too much with one case. And we know that happened during the previous regime when there was this very special dependent relationship on India. That made it difficult for Bangladesh to truly balance its ties with its neighbors.
And how you see the India's foreign policy about Bangladesh?
As I said, you're not going to see many changes, I think, until there's a new government in place. My sense is that if the next government is led by the BNP party, that India would be comfortable engaging with that. I don't know for sure, obviously, but India has particular concerns about particular factions and parties here in Bangladesh. I mean, I think this is very clear. It's expressed concerns about certain parties, certain religious parties, and this is the concern for India. So I think that based on the outcome of the election, we'll see what India wants to do. I think India has a very strong interest in figuring out a way to patch up ties with Bangladesh, and the opposite is the case too. Border security, economic considerations, connectivity, there's so many reasons why I think it's important to make this relationship work. It does not have to be a perfect relationship, but I think that practically it makes sense for it to be a workable relationship.
Okay, let me ask you another question that you have always been vocal during Sheikh Hasina's regime, and you have witnessed a historical uprising. How do you see the future of Bangladesh?
I mean, I can't stop thinking about the election because I saw the euphoria, I experienced it. I've been here. This is my second trip here since the revolution. I sense the euphoria and the excitement and the optimism about charting a new future of democracy and prosperity. But there's been, some unease and impatience, this is my sense, within the public, concern about the economy, about the law and order situation, about what's unclear about what's happening with the reforms, and with the strong thirst for elections from the public. So if there are elections and they're viewed as free and fair, I think Bangladesh could be on a really strong path toward democracy. If the elections don't happen, if they're delayed,
so future of Bangladesh is depending on election?
Oh, in part, yeah, in part, absolutely. I mean, Bangladesh, I think, continues to struggle with the same problems that it dealt with previously. If you talk about polarization, retributive politics, economic stress, that all has to change. But I do think the election will be a good start, just because clearly there's so much of a desire from the public and many of the key stakeholders for a free and fair election.
Okay, let me ask you another question that your focusing area is South Asia, and you are expert in India, in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and also in Bangladesh. So I want to know which sector Bangladesh should focus on to achieve meaningful development and long-term sustainability.
I mean, I think one thing Bangladesh needs to focus on is diversifying its export strategy. It's always been heavily dependent on RMGs, which helped, which really strengthened its economy for a while. It was very strong globally. But you can't survive over the long term, you can't have a sustainable, strong economy over the longer term while only emphasizing that one product. So I think that's one way to go. Also, strengthening the private sector. We have a private sector here, but you're not seeing the levels of FDI, foreign direct investment, that one would expect in Bangladesh. I think it's important to attract more investment from the major companies. We don't have all that much of that in Bangladesh in terms of international corporate presence here. That could help strengthen the economy as well, and ultimately that could strengthen development as well.
So can we focus on our river and something like that? Can we specify if you feel we should focus on them?
On
a few areas we should focus on them.
Oh, a few areas. Honestly, I think tech innovation is really critical. We're seeing around South Asia a number of countries developing these new tech corridors. India has done this, Pakistan's been able to do it. I think Bangladesh has really strong potential here as well. I mean, companies like Meta, have had an interest in investing here. So I think that would certainly be one thing to look at.
Thank you, Michael, for joining us today, and we are so pleased to have you.
Thank you. Great to talk with you.
দর্শক সকলকে ধন্যবাদ জানাচ্ছি আমাদের এই অনুষ্ঠানটি উপভোগ করার জন্য। আমাদের সঙ্গে দীর্ঘক্ষণ কথা বলেছেন মাইকেল কুগেলম্যান। তিনি বাংলাদেশের গণতন্ত্র, বাংলাদেশের মানুষের অধিকার, বাংলাদেশের মানুষের রাজনৈতিক অধিকার এবং ভোটাধিকার সবগুলো বিষয় নিয়ে শেখ হাসিনার পুরো শাসনামলে তিনি সরব ছিলেন এবং বর্তমানেও তিনি কিন্তু আমাদের এই বাংলাদেশের গণতান্ত্রিক যে যাত্রা রয়েছে সেটি নিয়ে কাজ করছেন। আমরা তাকে ধন্যবাদ জানিয়ে আজকের মতো প্রোগ্রামটি শেষ করছি।